Welcome to the SGS Bitcoin update. Is it time to buy Bitcoin according to money flow indicators? Well, this is Morris, and in this video, that's precisely what we're going to be taking a look at. The first chart that I want to highlight is a very important chart, and a momentum money indicator is located at the top of my chart. Let me point out a couple of things on this chart first. It's a very long-term in nature chart. We are looking at a monthly chart. You'll note here that we are looking at the monthly. Now we take the monthly chart with the stochastics RSI and look for areas of entry and the area of exit. Well, obviously at this point, we are looking at a point of entry. Now we're going to look at another chart in a moment that will two more charts that will pinpoint opportunities in the asset now and where it is going. My work continues to suggest that the lows are in, although there could be some volatility. We'll look at that in this video, and that we should see Bitcoin move north of 85 to 95,000 in the bull cycle that is now birthing. As you look at Bitcoin, again, this is such an important indicator because we have been oversold for an extended period of time, and I want to look at previous cycles. So this cycle right here went into this sell signal where the momentum and the money flow was exiting Bitcoin from high to low in the previous cycle. We saw a 75%, and this is on a closing basis and not an inter-month basis. So it's actually considerably more than that, just because there would have been higher days and higher lows. But this is where it closed the month and closed the month down here when the market bottomed in January 2019. So it was a one-year period where the market declined closer to that 80% zone on Bitcoin. But when that took place, we got into a bottoming market, and you'll notice the tip-off here is this stochastic RSI, again on the weekly chart, the monthly chart, and that gave us some nice entry with a little bit of chop. But from this area to low to high, we were looking at over a 200% move. So a nice area to gain long exposure in the Bitcoin market. Well, notice we go back, this double topping action that took place March 2021, and then also October 2021. You'll notice we moved into the lower area, momentum slipping away from the market, and then when we got this hard sell signal, of course, we have seen that 80% decline or so thereabouts. But what has taken place now, looking forward, is this reversal action. We are getting stochastic RSI monthly that closed the first month of the year with a gain, and that is important, and it is signifying that the lows are in and this market is transitioning from a bear market to a bull market. One other indicator I want to look at on the monthly chart, and that is the Copic indicator. Now, the Copic indicator is a key indicator. You can see this back into this cycle back here. The Copic, the asset was too young for it to cover it, but it would have given you a buy at around 350, and of course the gain was astronomical in that bull cycle. If we go into the 2018, and what I'm looking for in the Copic indicator is not just a downtrend but an uptick. When the uptick takes place, and that took place about in this area, we saw the asset move 1,400%. We are now flatlining. We're transitioning. So to me, the bottom, my indicators say the market lows are in for Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean we're out of some volatility. Going to my next chart is moving to a weekly. It's interesting. I put this caption box on this weekly chart back several months ago prior to the date, just looking at previous cycles, and I put a marked low for Bitcoin should bottom at around on December 4th, and you can see we we actually went down as low as 15.5. You don't see that on this chart again because of I'm using a line chart to make it easier. But notice how close it was in this December time frame, and we rolled along the bottom. From that point, the market has kicked up, and again, it's up 41% thereabouts off of those lows. And by the way, when you go back to this indicator, you can see that it came up through this area in December. So this market on the mark low was showing some important activity. The other thing I want to point out is the vortex indicator on the top of portion of the chart. When it goes green, it's buy time. When it goes red, it's sell time. And you'll notice this previous bull cycle, and we're looking at, and of course now we're just looking at a weekly, so we're not going back as far in time. But notice the buy signal that came in May 2020, right in this area. And notice what price did. Price just absolutely exploded. Yeah, there can be a little bit of volatility as we transition. This is a transitioning period, but don't dismiss this area. These gains are a huge 250% move on this week-to-week chart once we got into a bottoming market, and I was pointing that out clearly in the cycles on the monthly chart. So the weekly and the vortex, now move to where we are right now. We've got a buy signal on the vortex indicator after a massive bear market. Then the daily. And this is where we look at where price can go in the short term. So I would look at this, and we're looking at for entry opportunities. It is not certainly not too late to buy Bitcoin. I'm looking at the chart and this area of 21.5, and I do believe there is a reasonable chance that we can get into volatility and see that happen. We're beginning to see potentially a little bit of a bearish wedge take place, and a bear wedge would suggest that a move could come back down in at least into that 22,000. I would begin to buy aggressive on Bitcoin if it drops down that $1,400 per coin on the Bitcoin market. We're starting to roll over. Histogram's going a little bit negative, and we're certainly been overbought on the RSI. Big opportunities unfolding in Bitcoin. There is more risk being out of Bitcoin than being in it. Yeah, you could face some volatility in this market, but when you look at where this market can go, and if it follows previous cycles, we could see the price of Bitcoin multiple over the next 2 to 3 years. It's not too late to be in Bitcoin. I like accumulating it. My daily chart analysis is suggesting a sweet spot entry could be somewhere around that 21,500 area. That's all for now. This is Morris with SGS saying thank you.